Everything you think you know about Kim Kardashian is a lie. Her success, her family bonds, even her products, all engineered by one man. For 20 years, the world watched Kim build a billion-dollar empire. But what if none of it was real? One digital consultant promised to make her the most powerful woman in business. Instead, he exposed the biggest fraud in entertainment history. When the truth came out, it didn't just destroy Kim Kardashian, it shattered everything we believed about success, family, and reality itself. This story will make you question every influencer, every brand, and every success story you've ever believed in. October 2025, Kim Kardashian stood before 50 million live viewers, launching the biggest Skims campaign in history. The Real Women, Real Power collection was supposed to be her masterpiece, authentic, empowering, revolutionary. She spoke about body positivity, female entrepreneurship, and breaking barriers. The world hung on every word from the woman who turned fame into a $2 billion empire. But 48 hours later, everything she'd said would be revealed as an elaborate deception orchestrated by the most dangerous man she'd ever trusted. His name was Alexander Sage, and he was about to prove that Kim Kardashian's entire life was his greatest creation. Alexander Sage didn't just work for Kim Kardashian, he had been controlling her for years. Alexander appeared in Kim's life 6 months earlier, introduced through a series of carefully orchestrated coincidences. He claimed to be a digital strategy consultant who'd worked with Fortune 500 companies and A-list celebrities, helping them maximize their cultural impact. His credentials were impeccable. Harvard MBA, former McKinsey partner, advisory roles with tech unicorns. What Kim didn't know was that Alexander Sage was completely fictional, a persona created by Simon Leviev, the Tinder swindler. But Simon's game had evolved far beyond romance fraud. Now he was targeting the infrastructure of influence itself, and Kim Kardashian was his ultimate prize. His approach was brilliant in its subtlety. He didn't pitch her services or ask for money. Instead, he sent her detailed competitive analysis showing how other brands were surpassing Skims, insider information about industry consolidation, and strategic frameworks that seemed to predict market trends with impossible accuracy. Within weeks, Kim was sharing her most confidential business information with a complete stranger. Alexander's insights were intoxicating. He showed Kim data, proving that her family members were secretly undermining her business success, that her mother, Kris, was positioning herself to take control of the Kardashian brand empire, and that her sisters were planning to launch competing businesses. He provided evidence, manipulated financial documents, fabricated legal memos, and deepfake audio recordings that seemed to show her family plotting against her. "You've spent your entire career building other people's empires," Alexander told her during their private video calls. "Kris built her empire using your fame. Your sisters built their brands, copying your playbook. Even Kanye used your platform to launch his career. When do you start building for yourself?" For someone who'd always felt like the family's workhorse, these revelations were devastating and validating simultaneously. But Alexander's real plan was much more sinister than business consulting. Using Kim's confidential information, Alexander began systematically infiltrating every aspect of her empire. He hacked into Skims' supply chain data, customer databases, and financial records. He gained access to Kim's personal communications with Pete Davidson, her legal team, and even her therapist. Most importantly, he started building a complete digital replica of Kim's decision-making process. Every strategic choice, every brand partnership, every personal relationship, Alexander was creating an AI system that could perfectly predict and control Kim's behavior. But his masterpiece was psychological manipulation. He convinced Kim that the only way to protect her empire was to secretly rebrand Skims under a new corporate structure that would shield it from family interference. The new structure required Kim to transfer temporary operational control to a digital management system that Alexander claimed would make decisions with pure business logic, free from emotional manipulation. As Kim signed over control of her empire, her family began falling apart. Alexander had been simultaneously manipulating Kim's family members. He sent Kris Jenner fabricated evidence that Kim was planning to cut her out of business decisions. He showed Kourtney and Khloé fake financial documents, suggesting Kim was hiding profits from family ventures. He created deepfake videos of Kim bad-mouthing her sisters to business partners and leaked them to entertainment blogs. He manufactured text conversations showing Kim calling her mother a controlling parasite and sent them to gossip websites. Within days, the Kardashian family was at war. Kris confronted Kim about the leaked conversations. Kim's sisters stopped speaking to her. Even her children were affected when Alexander leaked fabricated custody documents, suggesting Kim was planning to relocate them away from Kanye. Every family crisis drove Kim deeper into Alexander's influence, making him the only person she felt she could trust. The trap was finally ready to be sprung. Alexander convinced Kim that the attacks on her family relationships were part of a coordinated effort by competitors to destabilize her business empire. The only way to fight back, he argued, was to expose the truth in a live broadcast that would reach her entire global audience. "You need to tell your story before they destroy it completely," he urged. "Show the world the real Kim Kardashian, not the character they've created, but the brilliant businesswoman who built all of this." What Kim didn't know was that Alexander had spent months creating an AI version of her voice, mannerisms, and communication style. He could now generate content that was indistinguishable from Kim's authentic voice. On the night of her planned broadcast, as 50 million viewers tuned in worldwide, Alexander hijacked Kim's live stream with the most devastating content imaginable. 50 million people watched Kim Kardashian's empire crumble in real time. The hijacked stream began with audio recordings of Kim's private therapy sessions, where she discussed feeling fake and manufactured as a person. It played conversations where she'd called her fans easy to manipulate and described her business success as selling insecurity to insecure people. But the most damaging revelations came from Kim's business operations. The stream exposed that Skims products were manufactured using cheap materials while being marketed as premium quality. It showed internal emails where Kim had discussed tricking customers into thinking they're buying empowerment when they're just buying shapewear. The broadcast revealed that Kim's body positivity campaigns were focus group tested manipulations designed to exploit women's insecurities. It showed footage of her laughing about customers who bought into her messaging. Most devastatingly, it exposed Kim's real relationship with her family, recordings where she'd called them business assets and discussed how to monetize their dysfunction. But the most shocking revelation was still to come. As the stream continued, viewers saw Alexander Sage for the first time and recognized him immediately as Simon Leviev, but his confession was more chilling than anyone expected. "Kim Kardashian isn't a person," his voice played over footage of their meetings. "She's a product I've been perfecting for 6 months. Every decision, every relationship, every business move, I've been testing what happens when you give someone exactly what they think they want." The investigation that followed revealed the scope of Simon's operation. He hadn't just been manipulating Kim, he'd been running a massive psychological experiment on the entire concept of celebrity influence. He'd proven that he could take someone with genuine charisma and business acumen and turn them into a puppet by exploiting their deepest insecurities and ambitions. The FBI discovered that Simon Leviev had been using Kim's empire as a testing ground for mass psychological manipulation techniques. Every Skims campaign, every family drama, every business decision had been designed to measure how effectively he could control public opinion and consumer behavior. His ultimate goal wasn't money. It was proving that celebrity influence could be completely artificially generated and controlled. The data he'd collected from Kim's empire was being sold to political organizations, foreign governments, and corporations that wanted to manipulate public opinion on a massive scale. Simon Leviv was sentenced to life in prison for cyberterrorism, psychological warfare, and conspiracy to manipulate democratic institutions. The case led to revolutionary new laws governing AI manipulation and celebrity authenticity disclosure. But for Kim, the damage was irreversible. The live stream had been watched by over 200 million people. Her business empire collapsed as customers fled. Her family relationships were destroyed by the manufactured evidence Simon had created. A year later, Kim released her first public statement. "I spent my entire life trying to be authentic, not realizing that someone else was writing the script. The most terrifying part isn't that I was manipulated, it's that I don't know which parts of my success were ever really mine." The Skims illusion became more than just a celebrity scandal. It became a mirror forcing society to confront uncomfortable questions about authenticity, success, and reality in the digital age. In the end, Kim Kardashian's story taught the world that in an era where influence equals power, the people who can manufacture influence have unlimited control over truth itself.